Hello, everybody. As you can hear it in my voice, I'm still under the weather. It all started on opening night, Kings versus Jazz, and I was sick that whole day. I got through it, thank God, and then we provided some interviews that day. Have not been able to talk to you guys on the live chat. Would like to you guys to join the conversation today, as I'll be discussing the entire NBA, the things we've seen in week one, just crazy stuff, man. I've really enjoyed the entire NBA here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. You guys can call in. The number is right there in the description box. And yeah, I also want to say that you guys can use our code Cowbell on SeatGeek and get $20 off your first purchase on any type of seats, NBA seats, King seats, Hawk seats, any concert event, anything that's on SeatGeek that you can get $20 off. Use the code Cowbell as you purchase your tickets. It'll be there at the end of the purchase, so at the end of the transaction. But yeah, guys, week one of the NBA has been straight fire. Victor Z, what's up? Tanner, what's up? and the Kings won last night. They got the first W in OKC. Great game. We'll get into that as well. We'll also get into the Hawks. The teams that I chose on this headline: the Hawks, the Kings, the Raptors, and the Rockets are really interesting to me because, and for the wrong and right reasons, right? You have the Rockets, who I cannot believe they gave up Bam Moute and Trevor Ariza to acquire Carmelo Anthony. I mean, this guy is a bum. He's trash. He should not be on that roster. He makes them worse when he's out there. He doesn't help them on offense. He's been terrible. He doesn't step up. He doesn't take charges. He doesn't shoot the ball very well. And it just seems like he's kept the opposing team in games when he's in that game. Like, when he's in the game, teams go after him, they attack him, and they get buckets. He's not getting buckets anymore. And to me, that's just a huge mistake from Mike D'Antoni and that entire front office. What were they thinking? They better cut this dude before it's too late. I'm telling you right now. This dude is not going to help him whatsoever. Carmelo, to me, is just straight trash, but we'll also get into the Rockets a little bit later as well. The Raptors, very underrated. They may make the finals this year. They're so talented on the wings. They got OG, they got Siakam, obviously Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. Those are nice pieces to have, CJ Miles as well. They're just extremely deep on that position. I wish they can just lend one to the Kings, right? Bloody. No, but seriously, the Raptors are really nice. They have so much depth. They have the best player in the Eastern Conference. Well, I would say 1A and 1B because Giannis is right behind his coattails, right? So the best players in the East: Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the Bucks may make some noise. They have one of the best coaches in the game, NBA Coach of the Year and Coach Bud Budenholzer. So we'll see how that goes. But the Raptors, to me, are extremely interesting. They have a really nice roster. They put a beat down on the Celtics towards the end of that game, and they're here to stay. If Kawhi can somehow manage to like it there in Toronto, and if they can convince him like how OKC convinced Paul George, it's going to be the Raptors are going to be really, really good for the next, 6-7 years easily, because that team's depth is really impressive. Also, Tanvir says, what do I think about the Lakers-Rockets game? Man, that Lakers-Rockets game was wild. It was so fun to watch. It's fun that the Lakers are relevant again because, someone said I hate the Lakers. It's good for the NBA, right? You want Kings fans, and I want the Kings to beat them when they're at their best, because they got robbed in 2002, and I just hope that one day both teams become good again and the Kings get their revenge. So we'll get into the Kings as well. So the Hawks, Trey Young, as I said before the season started, during the pre-draft workout process, Trey Young's a stud. He's going to get up a shot. He's going to be a very good basketball player. Is he going to be Steph Curry? Probably not. But again, that's not fair to say. But if he can be Trey Young and the best version of Trey Young, that kid's a stud. 35 points, only rookies to ever do that. LeBron James, Steph Curry, Jason Kidd. That is really, really impressive. So, and disclaimer, I'm not using the microphone. I'm using the internal mic on the camera, so the audio may not be as clear and as nice. Forgot the damn microphone in my camera bag. Do not have my camera bag with me. I said, what the heck? I'll just do it here with the internal mic. But yeah, that fight to me is me knowing how much of a punk Chris Paul is on so many nights. So this is what I was discussing with E-Man, right? I was like, well, he mentors young players during the off season, but then he's always trying to impose the alpha male in him, right? And that gets annoying. And most nights, dudes want to punch him, and they don't. A lot of the reasons because he is the president of the Players Association, so he has the respect factor, the veteran factor. But this dude is just an irritating human being. I mean, he irritates guys. And Brandon Ingram had enough. Rajon Rondo had enough. On top of all that, you combine the referees giving Chris Paul and James Harden every single call, it's going to rub off so many guys the wrong way. Brandon Ingram stepped up to the plate, and he pushed Harden right off the bat. He was tired of it. He even confronted the referee. Am I saying that's a good thing? No. But enough is enough, and I'm glad somebody stepped up to the plate because these dudes get away with so much stuff, and it's just so annoying to constantly see all these little ticky-tack fouls. So Ingram, who I'm very high on, I think Ingram's going to be a star in this league. He stepped up to the plate, came back, swung at that dude, and yeah, he showed who the real dudes are. I mean, there's some guys just yap and they just want to get held back like they're going to do something. No. Ingram went and he punched that dude. He was held back, and then when they let him go, he did what he had to do. Again, he deserves suspension. But that shows the fire in this guy. This dude should not be messed around with. He's a quiet guy. But again, if you poke a bear constantly, you're going to get this type of reaction. Chris Paul, the whole night was – I can't cuss on here, but this dude was being just a jerkhead. Like, this guy is so irritating. You know what I mean? Like, as great as he is, the best generation of point guard, or the best point guard in our generation, without a doubt. This dude's just an irritating human being, man. And, I'm glad somebody stepped up to him. And I'm glad Rondo punched him. Like, I really am. So that may, quiet this dude down. Maybe it's not. It probably won't because Chris Paul is just the way he is. But don't expect other guys, or don't expect them to not hit him. I mean, this is going to be a common reoccurrence in the league because this dude is he gets away with so much stuff, and it's not okay. It's just not okay. And I do want to talk about Bjelica. I think Bjelica has been the most consistent player and the most effective player for the Kings. I think he was a major reason why the Kings were in the first game against Utah, and he is the biggest reason why the Kings won the game yesterday. He didn't put up the biggest numbers. I mean, yesterday he only had 12 points, but, a plus 10, a block, 3 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the field, 2 from 3. The guy did it all. Again, he wasn't the high man like Iman Shumpert with 26 or Fox with 22, but without Bjelica, they don't win that game. And he was playing good defense. His presence out there to spread the floor, that was really good to watch. I just feel like he's been the MVP in both the Jazz and the game last night. That Pelicans game, obviously, I don't think it was that good of a game. They got blown out. They allowed 149 points, was not acceptable in my eyes. It doesn't matter if they put up 140. Like, you cannot give up 149 points and expect to win the game because you're not going to score 150 points. There's no way. Unless you go to triple overtime. No, I'm just kidding. Like, with the pace that the game has gone in the past week, overtime would have probably done that. But again, 149 points and expect to win. You cannot allow that, man. Just plain and simple. And then what do I think about LeBron and Chris Paul? Yeah, I mean, we all know that they're very good friends. They're, some say, best friends, and he just try to calm them down. We'll see how that goes within the locker room, what Rondo thinks about that. Maybe Rondo may think he didn't have his back. We'll see. Yeah, I've kind of covered the Raptors a little bit. The Hawks, they have a really young nucleus, and it's funny because I kept saying before the year started, right, that their GM, who was working with the Warriors, pretty much wanted to draft clones of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, Trey Young, oh my God, Kevin Herter, and Spaceman, or the guy from Villanova. I'm just slipping on his name, guys, but definitely he played very well. He's a stretch power forward center who can really play the game. I mean, all these Villanova guys, shout out to their coach. He's done a marvelous job. Josh Hart, very good basketball player. I thought the Kings should job with Josh Hart as well. Very tough-minded, has size at his position, can play the point, can play the two. 6'4", 6'5", long hands, athletic. Definitely a very good basketball player. Someone says, how do you think the Kings will do against Denver? So we'll get into that. All he needs to do is lose weight. Bagley, looking better than you thought. Dude's an animal. Spellman, that's right. So I was talking about Spellman. Thoughts on Doncic? My God, if only. So yeah, I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit. But again, going back to Bielitsa, very good. I mean, again, 12 points, but so efficient and so effective in his minutes. Everything that he did, just from setting good screens to playing good defense to opening the floor for De'Aaron Fox, who had 22 and 10 against his favorite player. Very, very good game. And then Iman Shumpert, which I thought he should be starting every single night. Honestly, I said that from the first time he touched the ball or the first time he was on defense when he played against the Jazz when they got blown out in that preseason game. I was like, this dude got to start, because he from the jump showed his aggressiveness on defense, and I was like, no one on this team plays like that, and no one plays with that type of mode on defense. So he automatically was like, he needs to start on opening night. He did not, and they started him against the Thunder, and I think they'll continue to start him because, well, they don't need his offense, but they definitely need his defense and his courage, his toughness, all that good stuff. So great game, 26 points, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 4 or 7 from 3-point land, and 9 and 13 overall. +9, had a great game. Great game for Shump. So Bagley finished with, what do you have? 24 minutes, 5 of 13, 13 points. Oh, he had 13 points on 13 shots, 7 rebounds, 4 turnovers. He was a +6. Again, I think Bielitsa should be starting. You should not start Bagley over him. There's no way on earth, especially if you want to win games. If you want to win games, you got to start Bielitsa right now. And then you can't bench Willie, because Willie obviously is your only true center without Costa being there and being or having a jersey on, because he is injured still. I'll say that much. Even though I know more than what I should, right? About that entire situation. But yeah, Bagley, he's played well in his minutes. Harry Giles finished with 17 points in 10 shots, 8 points. Again, both guys not efficient from the field, Bagley and Harry. But again, they were both +6 and +2 respectively. 6 boards and 7 rebounds respectively. So that's what I told you guys was going to happen. They were going to get 15 to 20 minutes a game. Obviously, Bagley got a little bit more, 24 minutes. But that's how it should be. Ease them in the beginning, and they'll be fine. I have no issues with that whatsoever. So I don't expect them to start. I think the starting lineup from yesterday is the starting lineup. Like, that's the lineup that should be starting every night, honestly. Belita, Cauley-Stein, Fox, Shumpert, and Buddy Hield. So that's what I see. That's what I think Coach Yeager should continue to go with. Agree with you on Shum's clearly our best defender, and he brings a whole team's D. Things I can remember. Willie Cauley-Stein's fool's gold. We just traded Amari Cooper to Dallas. Oh yeah, I mean, right when I started the stream, I saw the ESPN headline saying that Amari went. I hate to admit it, but I was wrong about John Gruden. He literally just destroyed the team. He dismantled the team. He killed the locker room. He killed the morale of the team. The more I think about it, the more I agree that they could have just signed Khalil Mack. If the plan was to sign Amari Cooper, okay, you can still trade Khalil Mack next year, right? And I didn't really think about that. I was like, well, no, you can't have two players with $100 million. But I'm like, yeah, you can, especially with this year because they had the money and they decided not to do it. Well, just Gruden just compulsively just made that trade, right? He, for whatever reason, on straight impulse, pulled the trigger and just destroyed the team. Just call it the way it is. The Raiders should have at least 3 victories right now. If Khalil was there, he should have made those plays against the weak Broncos, against the garbage Dolphins. And, that right there is 3 wins alone. Who knows if they went opening night? There was a tied game going into the fourth quarter against the Rams. Obviously, if they faced the Rams now, they wouldn't beat them. But, week 1, they had a real chance of beating them. So they could easily have 4 wins, honestly. And, yeah, John Gruden just destroyed them. Just hard. Raiders are saying F Oakland. They only worried about Vegas. JJ's garbage, and last Raider fan anyway, so I don't care. Talk about the Raiders, bro. It's over now. When Bagley comes back, do you think you put him in the starting 5? I do. As of right now, Shump should start. I would probably. It just depends on matchups, but I would start Fox, Hield, and Buddy, and Bogey, sorry, and then obviously Belita and Cauley-Stein. But yeah, there's just so many things, and I'm all over the place. I'm still under the weather. You can hear it in my voice. I had like blood over my knuckles and stuff. But I am better. I was a lot worse, which is why I didn't want to show my face for like a couple of days since opening night. So if you haven't seen content, I apologize for that one. But yeah, Bogey, when Bogey comes back, he's the missing component, that playmaking ability, more shooting. You can always have more. More of that will always help your team. Same starting lineup, but Bogey over Buddy when he comes back. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can easily see Buddy come off the bench. I can easily see him starting. I don't think it matters for Buddy. He's a great shooter. He's gonna get his. He only had 23 minutes yesterday. That's crazy. I thought he had more minutes, but regardless, he's going to finish the game. And this dude's a closer. This guy can get you buckets at any time. So if you want to get off to a good start, set a defensive tone, you can have Shump out there. But again, if you have Buddy out there, regardless, you're gonna get off to a good start because he's gonna put up buckets for you, and he's gonna play make for other guys, and he's been really good at that this year. A massive improvement. He can dribble now, and he can make plays. He's caught Willie on some really nice dimes in the past 3 games. So, Buddy finished with 2 assists yesterday, 5 rebounds, plus 8. Either way, I think your team becomes better when Bogey comes back. So definitely a good thing. Rather see Wayne than JJ. Dope art. How long till Bogey is back? Audio is cutting off a little bit. My bad, y'all. My bad. What's your comment on Buddy's defense? It hasn't been great. I thought last year was a lot better. This year he's gone under screens a lot. He's allowed good shooters to shoot the ball. I mean, that was more preseason, but But he's too smart and he works too hard to continue to allow that, in my opinion. And I think he'll get better as the season progresses. Do you think the Bulls roster is better than the Kings? I like it a little bit more, honestly. I do. They have a proven, borderline all-star right now, and Zach LaVine. Lauri Markkanen hasn't played. Obviously, he's injured, so him not being there may not allow them to look as good. I love Bobby Portis. His hustle, his grind, his toughness, his ability to shoot the ball, and obviously Wendell Carter is just his offense is so advanced of where I thought it would be so early on, and his defense is really good. Again, most rookies are going to get punked in the paint because they're not as strong, but you definitely see his defensive, array of skills, and just his offense is really smooth. I mean, his game, the fact that he can stretch the floor already at his age, and like he's a legit perimeter threat, and him and Lauri Markkanen and Bobby Portis, that is a really nice tandem of young bigs. So definitely, as of right now, I'm gonna say I do like the Bulls' construction of the roster a lot better. The fact that they can bring Jabari Parker off the bench, have that 3-4 stretch. The Kings, I'm still concerned about what they can do with JJ. I'm not in love with that situation whatsoever. As you guys have seen Luka Doncic play, he's everything that I thought he was going to be. Helping his team with 26 points against a playoff Timberwolves roster. Jimmy Butler didn't play, but that doesn't matter. I think the big thing was, can he get off a shot against NBA athletes? The first night was like, oh, well, he did it against the Beijing Ducks, against Chinese players. Okay. He's done it every single game against every type of athlete. Like, you can't say he hasn't. And he's just so crafty, and he affects the game in so many areas. The fact that he can play 1 through 4 and just play make for others, can score, can pretty much do it all, man. I mean, just call it the way it is. It'll always be like, for Kings fans at least, the whole Bagley and Doncic. But you also got to think about it. It's also going to be a Hawks thing with Trey Young and Doncic. And I'll say this, though. The Hawks got Trey Young, but they also got a future first-round pick. So when people want to say, well, he went, no. It was Aiden, it was Bagley, it was Doncic. 1, 2, 3. Doncic won number 3. The Mavericks gave up that future first to go down to number 3 and draft him. I think this class is really deep, man. I mean, I've been saying that for a while. I think it may be better than the 2017 class, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's not. The 2017-2018 class were really special, just from top to bottom. The 2018 class may be a little bit deeper, and the 2017 may be a little bit more star-studded, because it did have more guards in the top 10. But again, both classes are really good. I like what I've seen from Bagley as well. But I just don't think that he'll ever be Luka Doncic, if that makes any sense. So whatever he does, and it's unfair because he won number 2. Like, it's not his fault he won number 2. So he'll always be compared to him. He shouldn't be compared to him because they're completely different basketball players. They play different positions. But being a Kings fan, you're always going to compare him. But when it comes to just grading them on an individual basis and what they can do for their teams, yeah, I'm going to say Luka Doncic has been the best rookie thus far, period. He does everything that you want and transcended offensive talent to do. So that's my opinion. Bagley is looking way better on D than Giles. I do agree with that. I think Harry's been really slow laterally. He's as slow as Scal right now. I think he'll come into his own, though. I mean, again, he came off 3 injuries. You know what I mean? So it's going to take him a little bit longer. Marvin Bagley is a better athlete. I mean, that's his MO, right? He's a great athlete, superb athlete. So he has been better laterally, but honestly, they've all been terrible. So it's kind of like saying, you make 3 free throws and I make 2. We're both terrible. You're just a little bit less terrible. That's just the best way I can come up with the analogy. Like, they're both terrible, but one's been a little bit better, and Bagley has been better than Harry on defense. And yeah, Trey can play. And that's why I had him so high on my big board. And everybody laughed at me, but I'm like, Trey Young is a baller, bro. Trey Young can pass. He's the difference between Trey Young and Luka is that they're 7 inches apart in terms of height. Honestly, like I would have had Trey Young over Luka if he would have been taller, but you know that does matter because now you can play Luka at the 4, at the 3, when Trey can only play the 1, and at times the 2, right? Because essentially he is a shooting guard. So just the versatility that Luka can provide, just put him over the top over Trey. But definitely both guys are just so skilled at what they do, which is why I would always draft a skilled player, a wing guard over a big. That's my philosophy overall. So you can't really be mad at me for that. You know what I mean? Luka played 2 meaningful games, struggled in one, played great in the other. We can sign Patrick McCaw. One play doesn't affect the entire team's defense unless it's someone like Gobert. Giles will adjust. He's getting comfortable. Bagley's looking better. What's up, Edgar? What's up, brother? Luka is the one that got away that the Kings are going to regret for decades. It's like going to another strain next to Jimmer, like Stauskas, like Thomas Robinson. Yeah, I mean, the only way that they don't regret it is if Bagley becomes an all-star, because I definitely do believe Luka will. Again, this is not really on Bagley. This is more on De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox needs to do what he did last night, and if he plays 22 and 10 every night, the fact that the fact that they had the luxury of passing up on Luka Doncic would feel less worse. If that makes any sense. So again, this is De'Aaron Fox's team. This is his franchise. He needs to be able to be that guy, and I think he will be that guy. He has the talent, the athleticism, the heart, the mind, the mindset. So definitely, it would have been nice to see a Fox-Luka tandem. I kept saying, and again, before I continue on that, if the fact was to not take the ball away from Fox, like that whole garbage and just example, I was like, well, why would you start, a point guard next to him? Or why do you play a point guard so often with him? And the answer is it's what I kept saying. You need multiple guys who can handle the rock in a starting 5, period. And I hope you guys can now see what I was saying for such a long time. Like, no, he's not going to take the ball away from Fox. He's going to make Fox better. So having multiple guys who can make plays and handle the ball will only make your team better. That's what I never understood when those rumors came out. I was like, then any team that has a young point guard shouldn't draft Luka. And obviously that was the opposite. The Mavericks have Dennis Smith Jr. They still chose him because they saw what I saw, which was extreme versatility. That was just a disgraceful take, honestly. I was sitting in Puerto Rico hoping they would draft Curry. He thinks signing Willie at a 4-year, $80 million would be a gamble worth taking, given this inconsistency, even if he manages to average 18 and 10 by the end of the season. Whoa, 4 and 80. That's crazy. Fox looks like he's figured it out. He's raising everybody's game with Bowie coming back. I truly believe the Kings are going to be in problem this year. Not only if he plays. Say that Marvin Bagley was a safe pick. I think so. The more I think about it, the more it's like Bagley's a safe pick, but so was Luka. I mean, there was at the very worst case scenario was Luka being a 6th man, being Ginobili, like that type of a role. So, and again, being at number 2, you have to draft star. So there's an argument to both, right? Of both guys being safe and both guys being potential all-stars. And Both can happen. That's what I'm saying. Like both can be all-stars, but one's always going to shine over the other, period. And it's unfortunate. It's just the way the NBA is, you know. We can't stop that from happening because even when Chris Paul and Darren Williams were, you know, neck and neck point guards, oh, we should have drafted Chris Paul or we should have drafted Darren Williams. One has now gone over the other as the best generational point guard ever. You know, like the best point guard of our generation. I'm just slurring my damn words all over the place. You know, I apologize, guys. I'm like stuttering and shit. My bad. But that right there, I mean, 2 point guards, they were neck and neck. One just disappeared, you know, after a while, had a great career, but one continues to have a great career. And I think it's going to be very similar. And again, that's a much better example because they both played the same position. These two guys are so different that, again, it goes back to roster construction. If you had Harry Giles, why would you go there? Again, I just don't want to get into that anymore. I'll comment on the individual impacts, no doubt. I will always do that. But going back and saying, well, the Kings should drafted Luka. They didn't. You know, they drafted Marvin Bagley. You have what you have now. Let's look forward to what they do. And again, I can say the same about the Hawks. The Hawks passed up on Luka in some sense, right? But they got a lot of value in return because now they have a first-round pick, which I don't think the 2019 class is that deep because the Mavericks will have like a middle of the road pick. It's not going to be in the top 10, I don't think, unless they get an injury. But still, there's still value there. And if you really think highly of Trey, then you make that move because Trey was going to be there at 5, and that's what they thought. That's what they did, and that's what transpired. So Trey Young, obviously a big baller as well. I just love this class overall. Period. Bagley has already proven he can play with NBA players, and he is going to be get better. We don't need Luka. We have Bogey who can play make and score the ball, handle the ball. Bogey's hurt. Only reason Yogi's playing next to him so much better is the right pick, and he has more upside. Again, I mean, I'm not going to get into the argument. I don't believe he has more upside. There's no way that in today's NBA, unless your name is Anthony Davis, that you can say a big has more upside than the wing/guard. There's just no way, logically speaking, there is no way that's even an argument. Like, no way can you say a big man, not named Anthony Davis, can have more of an impact than a guard/wing. This is a guard/wing league. So right there, that argument alone disqualifies Bagley of having more upside. Like, it's not going to happen. I would be very happy if he becomes an all-star. And I would say the pick was a success. To say he has more upside, like, what does that mean? Does that mean better stats? Does that mean more wins? Better stats and wins are two different things. DeMarcus averaged 28 and 12, did not lead to wins as a big. And you know, we still have to see if AD can stay healthy. Like, that's still, the jury is still out there for AD staying healthy as a big. But to say that a big can have more upside in terms of what? Like, what upside? Like, upside without results is meaningless. The Mavericks are going to be a perennial all-star team for the next decade, period. Especially if Rick Carlisle decides to re-up his contract. I mean, Rick Carlisle was a proven NBA winner and champion, one of the best coaches in the game. The fact that he got his hands on Luka Doncic at such an early age, I mean, come on, man. Oh my God, I can't take the Luka talk no more. Just make a Luka show. Peace, Bagley out. Peace out. Bagley's gonna be amazing. Bye. Peace. I mean, you guys asked me about it. So, his audition started his rookie year. He had all this time to build a resume for his contract year decision, and enough of the job search. He doesn't deserve the bag. Beast. Their offense is good, but they are still needing to work on defense. He's found it a lot. Luka's not just kind of funny. He's positive. A problem do you see on the Kings defense? Because Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't have more potential than Stanley Johnson. Okay, get it. By the way, Jaren Jackson Jr. was my highest rated big in the draft. I had him higher than DeAndre Ayton. So that tells you what I thought about Jaren Jackson. Like, you should know. Bagley could have a much bigger impact on defense. Bagley will never beat Jaren Jackson. I'll tell you that right now. Like, Bagley will never beat Jaren Jackson on defense. Never. Jaren Jackson is a generational defensive talent, which is why I had him so high. Bagley's a wing big. I mean, Bagley's a wing now. Oh, God. How can you be a wing if you can't shoot the ball? Like, or how can you be an effective wing if you can't shoot the ball? Jesus. Yeah, man, come on, man. Are you serious right now? See, look
Here
at
are
that.
matches for Moana.
Here's Siri.
Moana.
Shut up, Siri. Bagley seems almost completely incapable of boxing out every NBA guard and basically always loses fights for position. I don't think he knows what his game is yet. Needs to be much stronger. Scouts, I feel like the Kings are going to move him, but I don't like him too much. Jaren will be in Sacramento on Wednesday. I meant better than Luka on D. But you just said there is no way Big is going to have more potential than Big's, correct? I don't know of a big when you look at all of your stars, so your top 10 players in the NBA, AD is in there as the only true big, and everybody else is a guard or a wing. So that's really what it comes down to, right? Your top 10 players in the league are either wings or guards. The only big in there that's a true big man who's just insanely freaking talented is Anthony Davis. You know, don't say Giannis is a wing. LeBron's a wing. KD's a wing. Height doesn't make you a big man. Like, if you want to bring that argument, like, everybody in the top 10 is a wing or a guard. So, yeah, when you say more upside, like, what are we talking about here? Like, are you saying he has more upside? Because I think Luka's going to be a top 10 player very soon. I mean, by his 5th year, he'll be a top 10 player in the NBA. So if Bagley has more upside than Luka, then my argument is flawed, right? I just don't see how a big, and I guess the closest thing to AD as a big is Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid is not in the top 10 as the best top 10 players in the NBA. So, no, Cousins is not. My God, that's what I'm saying. Like, man, I can't have a real conversation with people because they're gonna bring up all-star big man. All-star big man doesn't make you a top 10 player in the NBA. Period. Like, a top 10 player is a top 10 player, no matter what. A guy's gonna take you to the playoffs every single year, no matter what. No excuses. Cousins has yet to do that. He's never been to the playoffs. So, Giannis and LeBron are not even remotely as thin and weak as KD. That's blasphemy. Bagley can shoot. Have you seen him shoot, though, bro? The way he misses, either it's a debunker, it doesn't give his guy a shot to even offensive rebound. Like, it's not a soft miss. It's a terrible miss. That shows if you're a good shooter or not. Like, how you miss matters. That's if you understand basketball the way I do. And, you know, I can also play the game, and I can tell you now I'm a very good basketball shooter. Even when I miss, my misses are soft. Even when great shooters miss, you give your team a chance to offensive rebound. Bagley's misses are just bad. Like, Lonzo is not a good shooter. Lonzo can splash down whatever he wants, but when he misses, he either airballs the ball, and he shot 40%, 43% to be exact, in college. It doesn't mean anything, like, at all. He's not a good shooter, period. So, no, he's not a good shooter. Lonzo shot 40% from 43% from three. He's not a good shooter. He's just not. Um, Bro, I talk to NBA scouts. Like, I talk to them every single game. And I've spoken already to so many scouts that were either, man, I was wrong about Luka, or yeah, I was right about Luka, and this kid is a nightmare. He's a nightmare for bigs. He's a nightmare for guards. Again, I like what I'm seeing from Bagley. Don't get me wrong. I love the class overall. I love Jaren Jackson. I love Wendell Carter Jr. I think the class is special from top to bottom. So, Trey Young is very good. Uh, DeAndre Ayton is very good. So this just may be like, man, all these guys got good players, but it never really ends up like that where they all have transcendent players. Only a few teams end up getting that guy. And we'll see very soon who that guy is, 2 years max. A player on the Kings shot an air ball last night. 2 air balls happened. Luka shot 4-16, and he's a great shooter. 4 for 16. Are you talking about the game where they won? Or are you talking about the game where he was in foul trouble? And again, Luka Doncic needs to lose weight. That was one of my biggest critics about him. Like, he got baby fat on him, and that's a thing that one of the scouts said. As soon as he loses that weight, as soon as he gets in better shape, to play a full-time big minute load wing position, he would be a lot better. And he showed that against the Timberwolves. I mean, he was going up against one of the most God-gifted athletes we've ever seen, Andrew Wiggins. There's hardly, I can't name many just better athletes than Andrew Wiggins. Just his athleticism, his height, his length. Some can say he's a trash defender. That's not the argument, him being a trash defender. It's he put up 26 against NBA defenders. The thing was, right, the argument was, can he do that? Can he dribble it over all these great athletes? Joe Ingles, as a matter of fact. What did I keep saying? Joe Ingles, to me, is a top 25 basketball player in the NBA. He'll never get that credit because he looks like a damn gym teacher. He's white. He's not I'm going to high fly and dunk, so he'll never get that credit. Joe Ingles is a marvelous basketball player, believe it or not. I mean, this dude is the real deal. But yet, he'll never get the credit because he looks like your school teacher, and he just doesn't give that aura away. Like, oh man, he does, but he does everything. He defends, he shoots, he facilitates. So yeah. That spin move he did on the brow is the most impressive move I have seen from any of these rookies so far. Wiggins is a terrible defender, bro. That's what I'm saying. So Joe Ingles is the second coming of Chris Dudley. As soon as Bagley develops his shot, he's going to be unstoppable. He's like only 20, and he's shot great from his shot has great form. Scouts miss badly a lot. Assuming he can't shoot. Again, man, this is like arguing with the wall. We'll see, bro. I mean, last time I checked, Luka Doncic put up 26 on the Timberwolves. They got a W. He's only played twice. Bagley's played 3 times. Bagley had a really strong first half against the Pelicans. Again, the best player for the Kings in the game they won and the game that they were competitive, in my opinion, was Bjelica, the guy who plays over him. So he played 31 minutes. Bagley played 24 minutes. And I like that, though, because it's going to make Bagley even better, right? Anytime you have a guy over you, you're trying to chase his coattails. You're getting better in practice. I hope Bagley can one day become Bjelica from beyond the arc. Again, if you're right, if he becomes that, he will be the full package. But he's long ways away from that right now. Scout does not miss Bagley. He misses our normal sock. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's rare when Scal misses a shot that's all over the place. His misses. See, that's why I can't have an objective conversation with this dude, because he's always going to bring up false things. I mean, I'm looking at the analytics, bro. I mean, you should get a subscription. It's very expensive to Synergy Sports, and it'll tell you how guys miss, where they miss. Just the super analytical approach to this. Bagley's not a good shooter yet, bro. And I hate to say that, but he's not a good shooter yet. The fact that he can't boom, boom, come off the drip, step back like Luka Doncic can, like most good wings can, tells you he's not a good shooter. I mean, even if he just shot the ball like Belita, I'd be like, well, he's a good shooter, but he's not. Like, he's had so many bad misses in his first 10 games as a pro. We can't ignore that, period. Again, Joe Ingles, all these white guys who are slow are just slow and unathletic, right? But yet they make very big impacts for the teams. I'm just gonna leave it at that, guys. Straight up was the best show you guys done. You were breaking down film. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do more film once I have all my equipment. I don't have it with me. I took a trip down to Stockton to visit my family, so I still want to come on with you guys and share some of my thoughts for sure. So all you're saying is Luka is more NBA ready than Bagley. You keep thinking King should trade. You think the King should trade away Kai's down while he's Howard keep extending his contract. Thumbnail is 10 out of 10. Laughing out loud. Yeah, I mean, is he more NBA ready? Sure. I mean, he's been a pro for a while. That's what I kept saying. Like, he's playing against pro basketball players, and if you talk to pro basketball players like I do, and the guys who I know that played overseas, they laugh and they're like, the constant disrespect that we get, it's like, it's crazy. Being in the league doesn't make you not a good basketball player, and that's just the truth, bro. Like, there's so many guys overseas right now that are really, really good, and for whatever reason, and I know plenty of the reasons, they're just not there here, right? But talent-wise, they're so good, and they may be better than other guys on NBA rosters, but some guys are professionals, and they know how to keep their jobs. And most teams can only play 8 to 9 guys anyway, so they rather keep the more professional guy who's less talented than the guy who's more talented. That may give them problems, because guys do go out at night, they do party, depending on what city they go to. Like, all that matters. Being able to show up to practice every day and be a pro, accept your role, everyone can't do that. As easy as that sounds, it's shocking. So many of them can't do that. And that's just the truth, man. And when I experienced that firsthand, I was like, man, this isn't rocket science. Like, it's just the truth. Like, some guys can't do that, period. People are talking about trading Willie Cauley-Stein, but it's like, you cannot trade Willie Cauley-Stein a week into the season. It's not going to happen. No one's going to pull a trigger for Willie Cauley-Stein right now. He needs to be able to prove that he can do this for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months max. If he can do this for 3 months, then he becomes a hot commodity on the trade market. I mean, that's just what it is. Sometimes I wish we kept our pick and grabbed Knox. I think that dude is stud. Making memory said he's Yeah, the one thing that I was wrong about was Scal. I was pretty high. I said he had the potential to be an all-star. He's not going to be an all-star in this league, but I still think he has the potential to be a very good off the bench scoring big. In the right situation, he can be very good. Period. I think his skills are really good. It's just situation. Basketball is all about situation right now. He got stronger this year. And again, this is a long NBA season. Injuries happen, and you just never know. But I was wrong about that, but I was right about most things that I say, and it's all there. I mean, you can just try. I mean, just check my track record. It's all there. Period. I mean, I have nothing to hide. Everything's recorded. It's on the live stream. It's on the video. I am right most of the time. And if I was right all the time, what the hell am I doing here? I should be in the front office. I still think I should be in the front office, period. But there'd be a different route that I would have taken in college, but I didn't go that route. So I didn't say guaranteed. Look for that video where I said he's guaranteed to be an all-star, and I never said that. I don't like to say guaranteed anything. If you really like, I always put like barring, or I always like cover my ass when I say things like that, because like you just never know. So me saying guaranteed is very uncharacteristic of myself. Very, very uncharacteristic of myself. Like, he's not a great shooter or great at creating. He got his go-to moves, spins, hooks, putbacks. Not saying that he wouldn't develop just in the last game. No, it does not show. Bad on defense, but so far on NBA now, yes, did in my life. Well, find it, bro. Find it. I ain't gonna find the video, but you did on God, you did. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can say anything, you can say whatever you want, bro. But unless you find it, unless you go and find it, then yeah. You know what? As a matter of fact, since I know I didn't say that, I will send you $5 for your time if you look for that video where I said this, and you gotta say it. I guarantee Scal will be an all-star. And I have to say it like that because in context matters of how I said things. I will give you $5 if you look for that video, bro. I'll PayPal you $5. Send me your email. That says, hang on the video, but the King should look for it. I'm gonna give you $5. I mean, you got nothing else to do, right? King should give you a green contract, trade them all. Damn, y'all hear that shit? Oh, does that change? You think? So I think that's gonna do it, guys. I appreciate you guys joining the live stream. Again, the Hawks are very interesting to me. They have a bunch of clones from the Warriors. Obviously, having a former employee that was in the front office for as their GM, Snake. I forget. I'm forgetting all these names, and I'm just slipping on names. But I like the Hawks. I like the Raptors. I don't like the Rockets because of Carmelo Anthony. This dude needs to get traded as soon as possible, and he got to get cut. I mean, this dude is making them worse. Period. Just not having them out there, they're a lot better without him. Period. And the Kings are interesting because the Kings can score. What do I expect from the Kings Nuggets tomorrow and the Kings Memphis Grizzlies? I'm excited to see my boy Jaren Jackson, who I had number 2 on my big board. Again, everything's documented, so if you want to call me out on things, you can. There's no way of hiding from that. So Jaren Jackson on Wednesday will be there covering that game, and then Tuesday against the Nuggets, it's going to be a tough one in Mile High City. They don't do very well in that city. Many teams don't, and the Warriors just lost to them. They're the best defensive team in the NBA. It's going to be very interesting to see that. The Kings being the second best offensive team so far in 3 games, putting up big numbers. So we'll see if this is all real, if they can put up 130 points against a good defensive team. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be fun to watch, so regardless, though. Give that 5, boss. Put my have the $5. Can't wait to script the weak ass Mavs. But you are a Denver fan, so Garmelon Dwight's team killers, peace. Melissa Ball, Hall of Famer. If you don't like him playing like trash in the Olympics, man, he's old and he's trash and he's overrated, man. But anyways, man, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow after the game. Peace.